All right, good morning, gang. We are just about 50 degrees. It's a little misty out there. Kind of a dreary start to the work week on a Monday, but an improvement coming. Just hang on tight. We're stepping deep into WOBBY's world this morning with Dick WOBBY, who is sitting right next to us in the beautiful studios of ASB Financial and Fly on the Wall Productions on Main Street in Barrie, Vermont. Good morning, sir. How are you?
Good morning. How you doing today?
My God, it's good to see you, brother.
You know, you said misty. What do you consider misty? Because it was raining on my way through.
Well, it was a little misty coming down the Orange Heights this morning, a little foggy, a little drizzly, dreary. I don't know.
I saw you pointing at my red cup.
Yeah.
Because it's 9 o'clock, right?
Hang on, I'm going to get mine, because I got mine right over here.
Okay. And I'll just keep people entertained for a minute. So we start the day with a red cup, of course. Always have to.
I think Raylene took it.
Always have to.
Raylene took it.
Lucky's, those folks down at Lucky's Trailer Sales have been nice enough to provide me with a lifetime supply of red cups, and we just keep them filled. You know, it goes back to days gone by.
Yes.
For probably both of us.
Right.
Back in whatever day it was, my mother used to tell me that you couldn't claim you drank all day if you didn't start in the morning. And that red cup reminds me of that every day.
You know, you gave me one as a gift.
Yes.
And I it's here in the building, but I don't know where it is.
Okay.
I think Raylene took it.
But it's an insulated red cup. It's not just any
Yes.
red
Oh,
cup.
I know that. I
But
know that.
that's not why we're here
No,
today. I
that's-
don't know if you realize this. I mean, we got 101 things to catch up on.
Yes, we do.
You introduced me, and of course, it's in Northfield.
Yes.
Carrier Coffees.
Yes.
Great coffee roaster.
Okay.
Great coffee roaster. I enjoy them while I'm over in Northfield.
Really?
Yeah.
You're always introducing me to new coffees. Continue. Go
But
ahead.
the other side of it is, I missed you when you were up at Jeffersonville
Yes.
with the Tatros
Yes.
up there at their coffee
Yes.
house.
Greg and Dawn.
Huh?
Greg and Dawn.
Yes. And they've done a terrific job with the coffee house. Of course, that whole thing is an unfortunate situation. You're doing some promotion now?
Yeah.
Is that what you're doing?
I just love doing this because we always have a bag of this close by.
Okay.
Jenna's Promise, right?
Jenna's Promise, and they have done a fabulous job with not only Jenna's Promise and not only all the stuff they do, but with helping rebuild that whole community.
Yeah.
And it took a tragedy
Sure.
to do so,
Yeah.
but the community has really done a nice job jumping behind them, helping them.
Oh, yeah.
And they have done a super job pulling that all together up there. Jenna's Promise is second to none. I don't care where you are, what you are, or how you are.
Yes.
It's there.
Yeah, you love their coffee.
I do.
And of course, you can get on Jenna's Promise. Is it .com or .org? I can't remember. It is .com. Jenna'sPromiseRoasting.com to get yours roasted in Johnson, Vermont. Every purchase supports someone on their path to recovery from substance use, which you really, I'm serious, were the one that introduced me to this. And
I know that.
it is. You're right in that you don't want to put this in your Keurig. You want to percolate it.
You got to perk it.
Yeah.
I mean, this is old-time coffee. This is what coffee was all about.
Yeah.
This friggin' little plastic container thing, and you go and you pop it in there and you push it out.
Sure.
That is stupid.
Yeah.
If you're going to have a cup of coffee,
Do it right.
you do it right. And I'm a Jenna's Promise guy. And,
I know.
And I think you have to do it. And I noticed you got a special blend there. Do they
Yeah.
make a special blend
Well,
just
this
for
is-
JD Green?
Not yet. I'm asking them. I asked Greg if he would, and he looked at me, he paused, and then he just started laughing hysterically. But this is the Divided Sky, the blend that we've got here.
Nice on the
amazing.
palate. Mm-hmm. A little bitter going down.
Yeah,
it wakes
is.
you up.
Yeah, it does. Yeah.
No, I'm a, and I told you back then, I'm a coffee connoisseur. I kind of enjoy good coffee.
You're a
Not
coffee
this little
snob.
plastic. I did say that. I
You
am
are.
a coffee snob.
Yeah. This helps out the Divided Sky Foundation, who Jenna's promise, everyone up there is very grateful for the support that they've given them. DividedSkyFoundation.com, and find them on Facebook as well. So, yeah, good people.
But we're talking about people, and we were talking about the Tetros and helping those that were less fortunate.
Yeah.
15 years ago, or 17 years, holy Christ, 17 years ago.
Was it really?
Yeah, it really was. A friend of mine, Phil Scott, and Wayne Lamberton, and I sat down and we were talking about what to do with old tires. It was actually right around the 1st of October, talking about what to do with old tires. And we all had a bunch of old tires in our garage, and how do you get rid of them, and this whole piece. And the governor, Phil, said he wasn't governor then, though. He was one of us.
Oh, yeah.
He was one of us. Now he's like one of them uppity up guys. But the governor said we should figure out a way to put these back into use and get them to people that can use them. Those less fortunate than us.
Yeah.
We should think about that. And so we
I would have looked at Phil and said, Phil, are you smoking something, bud?
yeah. Hey, there's a few ideas.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, I don't even like Phil Scott anymore. He's not. I don't even like him anymore. Because he comes up with some of the most harebrained ideas, and then I see a vision in it, and I can put it in play, and we pull them off. But the Wheels for Warmth was a harebrained idea. We got together and let a bunch of friends know, and then WDV was very good to us. Jet Service was very good to us and helped us get the word out. And that first year, we collected like 5,000 tires.
Right.
And half of them were good and half of them were bad. And we hadn't even really thought about that whole bad thing, but along the lines. No, I mean you're sitting there saying we're going to collect tires, and we're going to.
That's a very, very complex thing. If you're going to say we're going to collect tires, I mean, look at the rabbit holes that you had to go down.
It got huge. Unbelievably, and so all of a sudden we got all these tires that are coming in, good and bad, and people are making donations and giving us money, and we had predetermined that any money we make off this was going to go to heating assistance for those, again, less fortunate.
Yeah.
As well as we weren't going to price tires over $30.
Yeah.
Right?
So somebody very quickly, when you were sitting there having coffee with Wayne Lamberton and Phil, someone quickly pulled a pen out and started taking some notes here, because it was probably you.
So this is, you talk about notes. When we take notes at our meetings, it's generally over a pizza, or, I mean, we don't have any of these big highfalutin conference room meetings.
And beer.
It's generally over pizza, maybe beer.
Not maybe.
Maybe in a thing, and we tend to hold.
Oh, boy. Just seeing a note here from Cliff Fleury saying that he used to do his safety training 20-something years ago when he worked at L&D Safety Markings. Cliff Fleury is watching.
Cliff, how you doing, man?
And Brian Pellegrini is tuned in.
Brian. Those are all guys I've worked with. We someday we'll have to talk about that whole safety world and construction world. But we take notes on paper plates.
Paper plates.
And we always have. I've got
Oh, yeah.
stacks and stacks of paper plates. I don't know how people do notes on napkins because they just tear up and they're gone.
Yes.
But the paper plate thing
Yes.
is like a lifesaver. So
I'm not shitting you. I have 2 paper plates on my front passenger seat right now that have the backs of them are full. Every millimeter is full with notes. I'm serious. I'll go show them to you right now.
No, you don't need to. I believe it because I do the same thing. But bunch of different rabbit holes, bunch of different paper plates. But all of a sudden we had all these excess tires that couldn't be used. And the Casella family, Casella Waste, stepped up and said, we'll take them and we'll get rid of them for you. And we kind of didn't want to just get rid of them. I mean, we didn't want them to go into landfill, and again, you start going down a bunch of rabbit holes. And they said, no, we're going to get with MBM or something, and they recycle them. So where we're at today is after 17 years, we've collected we've given $620,000 to the emergency heating fund.
$620?
$1,000. $620,000
To the
emergency heating fund through Capstone, CVOEO, and Brock. That's the Rutland folks, the Chittenden County folks, and the Washington County folks here. And so $650,000. We've collected over 50,000 bad tires that have gone through MBM and Casella. God bless Casella. I'm serious. Every time we drive down the road and see those blue containers, we should say thank you for what they do. But they take those tires and they don't just throw them away. They don't just go into a landfill. They're actually recycled. And you're probably, when you take your young girl there that goes to school, and take her to the playground instead, play hooky.
Sure.
Those tires are chipped up and used for padding in playgrounds. They're used, the little pellets that are used on football fields when you have AstroTurf and stuff. They're used
and
there.
some of the gymnastics mats, too.
Same idea. Yeah. All recycled and reused. So we're taking them out of the waste stream.
That's right.
And using them for something different. And then, of course, the new tires, or reusable, shouldn't say new, but usable tires, we've recycled 25,000 of those and put those back into use for at least a year and probably 2. And we have, I got to say, the as much as we hate the enforcement folks, the DMV folks, those guys that are stopping us when we're hauling our trucks and everything else.
Yes.
As much as I find differences of opinion with them, they have done a great job. They volunteer their time. They come down. They inspect tires for us.
That's it.
And
make sure they're safe.
Make sure they're safe for you to use
for at least one more winter.
At least one more winter. And we so people can literally come down over the next 3 days: Thursday, Friday, Saturday. We moved, by the way. This is cool. You might want to do a live broadcast with us. We moved. We're at the Vermont Granite Museum here in central Vermont, away from Du Bois. We actually outgrew the Du Bois site this year.
Yep.
And so we're down at the Vermont Granite Museum, getting ready to set up.
Yep.
There'll be drop-offs Thursday and Friday, and then our sale from 8 to 12 on Saturday. And then in Mendon, down in the Rutland Market, Casella Construction on Mendon Mountain is doing collections during the same time. And we also have a couple other drop-offs between Troy Kingsbury out in the valley, the Stowe collection site up by Percy Field, and then the Williston Avenue C site. We collect Thursday and Friday, and all the tires come into these 2 disbursement areas.
Yeah.
Vermont Granite Museum, the new one, and Mendon Mountain. And
So how do all the tires from the drop-off locations get transported to either the Mendon or the Vermont Granite Museum? In the trunk of your car?
And you talk about all these rabbit holes.
In the trunk of your Miata?
Yeah, you talk about all these rabbit holes. That was something we hadn't 17 years ago, thought about transporting.
Anybody got any twine?
That was about it. Today, I will say Casella Waste has been unbelievably excellent.
Sure.
They drop dumpsters off or roll-offs off in each one of these areas. They pick them up, and they are our transport unit, which is above and beyond when you think about having a CDL, having CDL operators, hours of service, this whole thing, and our workforce shortage that's out there. They are hustling hard to make this happen.
And frankly, you guys would be screwed without them.
Oh, we would. No, you ask, you yell for twine.
Yeah.
That's about where we'd be. Everybody with a free trailer or whatnot. Right. Here we go.
You got plenty of room on the roof of your car.
Yeah.
This is amazing, Dick. So Thursday and Friday, this coming, are drop-off days, and then the actual sale is going to be Saturday. Vermont Granite Museum, right here in the Granite City.
Right here, right down the road.
Okay.
So it is
8 a.m. We're going to talk in a minute about what happens at 8 o'clock in the morning on this Saturday. But when did the early birds start showing up?
Oh, this is crazy.
Well, day one, like the first year?
The first year. So we started, again, we originally started from 7 to noon is what we would do on Saturday. And people were lining up at 3 and 4 o'clock in the morning.
Right off.
Right, the first day out, and the three of us, of course, there's three of us and half a dozen volunteers, and you look back at those friends that you have that no longer talk to you, and you understand why.
Yes.
I mean, nobody takes my call from like September 1st through November 1. But there has always been a large group of folks that have volunteered their time, helped us out. But that first day, there's probably 6 or 8 of us standing around. It's 5 o'clock in the morning. We're getting ready to open at 7. We're moving some tires around, and we look out across the field, and there's like 50 to 100 people standing there, and some of them started at 3 and 4 o'clock in the morning, and you're saying, this is nuts. I mean, I feel like I'm at Macy's on Thanksgiving Eve, right?
Right.
And so we've gotten a little more civilized, and we've also gotten a little older.
Yeah.
So we moved the time back to 8 o'clock. But that just means they aren't getting there at 3 and 4. They're getting there at 5 and 6.
Right.
Okay.
But there's no fooling around with this.
No, this is hardcore. And so one of the funniest things. So you got 200 people standing in line, waiting to get their tires. They're going to get the best tires.
Freezing their nads off.
Yeah, it is just stupid. And Wayne and Phil and I are standing there, and I'm saying, how are we going to? We open the gates, and these people are going to crush each other. This is going to be terrible. There are people that can only walk slow.
And there you are. There you are standing there with your cold cup of coffee like a complete asshole.
Yeah, wondering, what are we going to do? How are we going to handle this? And Phil says, I got an idea. Again, idea. I hate him.
Oh, no.
But he says, I got an idea. You go up to me, and you make an announcement that we're all going to walk. Oh. That's what we're going to do. We're going to walk, and we're going to walk slowly.
Yeah, great idea, Phil.
To the tires, and you lead them right up to the tires.
Sure.
And Wayne turns to Phil and says, yeah, what's the worst that can happen? WOBBY get run over? I mean, that was again, another one of those things you don't expect, right? Sure. I just figured people would show up and we'd just have them come in.
Yes.
But it is, and they do it down in Rutland. It is the calmest moment of life. as we walk across that parking lot to get to those tires. Everybody is helping each other. They're all getting there. And then once they cross that line, it's all over. I got to get my tires.
Oh, my
But
God.
up until that point,
Yes.
it is great. As a matter of fact, I was talking with John Casella at Casella Construction. They're doing theirs up on Menden Mountain.
Yeah.
The tire sale on Menden Mountain. And John's having fireworks brought in Saturday morning that are going to kick the thing off at 7:30, 8 o'clock.
Well, the neighbors are going to love that.
Oh, my gosh. I
They're
just
gonna
can't
love
wait
it.
to hear the complaints on this. And we, again, we moved up here to the Granite Museum for the first time. We've got a fire pit. We've got music playing.
Wow.
And I am meeting tomorrow morning with some of our town fathers, the city manager, the fire chief, the police chief, to just explain the traffic fiasco that we're going to create.
Sure.
I'm sorry, but if you're going by the Granite Museum Saturday morning between 7 and 9, you might want to bypass or take a detour.
Yeah.
Unless, of course, you have tires. Then we want to see you.
Sure.
But we will create a mess.
Now, have you seen people? You must have seen people standing out in the rain. They don't care.
No, it's tires.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm serious. Weather, we've had snow, we've had rain, we've had ice, we've had everything, and it's tires, man.
And then, for our friends that are watching,
I'm
listening,
going to give you one more.
Okay, please, yeah.
Because my wife and I had this conversation the other day. My wife's in Iceland, by the way. She's
right now
traveling. She retired.
Oh.
And she and her sisters are lucky enough to be able to get away and do some stuff. So
thank you for the invitation to that big ass party at your house tonight. I'll be there.
Well, that's why I was asking what Raylene was doing. I'm free and floating here, but the one of the things my wife brought up was you let anybody buy tires. And I said, yeah, anybody. I don't care. I mean, some people really need them, and some people are just looking for a good buy, right?
Sure, right.
I mean, you're talking under $30 a tire.
Yeah.
You can outfit a whole car for $120 max.
Right.
And, well, that's not right. I mean, I could go buy tires. And I said, sure, you can go buy tires. I can't because I work there.
Yeah.
But you could go buy tires if you wanted. Well, that's not fair. I can go afford my own tires. I said, but what you're missing is one of the legs on the step stool. And she said, what do you mean? I said, without you buying tires, we can't give money to the heating fund.
Sure.
So I don't care if you're up there buying tires and you can afford good tires.
Sure.
I care about your greenbacks.
Yes.
And those people that can't afford tires, that's good. We're helping them, and they're getting a good deal on tires, and I'm taking their greenbacks too and putting it into this fuel fund, which they'll probably take advantage on the other side of, right?
Right.
So it doesn't matter whether you're in need, you're not in need. We're going to get tires out because that is really what helps support this emergency heating fund, which if you've been following the news, over the COVID time, we had a great resource, a lot of funding for this LHEAP or emergency heating fund that's being cut back drastically this year. Yeah. As well as if you've been following the news, there's this thing out there called climate change. I'm really not sure what they're all talking about because I'm not a science guy. Right. But we can all agree the friggin' weather's changing, okay? Yeah. And whether it's natural or something we've done, it's going to be a cold winter.
Sure. Right? It's going to be a really
a cold winter, and we need to help those less fortunate with their heating bills.
Not only a cold winter, Dick, but there's also another word called inflation, and the price of...
that's in balloons, man.
Yeah.
You inflate balloons.
Yeah. Well, it's inflated big
Is
time.
it?
Oh, my God. I've been taking pictures
Yeah.
of the food on the shelves in the grocery stores. It's disgusting.
Is that funny as hell? So I need a mathematician sometime to explain to me why the federal government or anybody is telling me that inflation is up 9%. Have you seen that? Inflation is up 9%.
Yeah.
And they're all saying 9%. And my loaf of bread is costing 30% more than it did. How come they're only getting the 9 and they aren't getting the other 21 in this thing?
Yeah.
You look at gas prices have doubled over the year. Fuel prices have doubled, yet they're telling me it's 9%. I could absorb 9.
Yeah.
I can't take 30.
Cliff Fleury just posted, "Be careful, you might be pissing off Al Gore right now." So take it easy.
Al Gore. Now, Chris Fleury is going to be an old guy because nobody remembers Al Gore other than he gave us the internet.
Yes, he did.
Do you remember that?
I do.
And I thought Al Gore was just a deviant and invented that internet thing there for porn. I didn't know you could do more than do porn on this thing. You know who took a hit with the internet was Hugh Hefner there with Playboy. No need to look at pictures when I can see it live. You want to go down rat holes?
No, we're good. No, we're good. We're good. But seriously, though, this is something. This Wheels for Warmth has turned into something that Vermont is giving great example to other states on how to do it and how to do it right.
It is funny because it's up for a national recognition. Let's just say
Ought to be.
But
We're up to almost at 20 years here, pal. I mean,
Yeah,
where's the rest of the United States? Are they paying attention?
I don't know. But one of the things that Vermont is unique in, and I thought with this, I don't know if you realize it, but we're just coming out of we've been out of a pandemic for a year, but we're coming out of this whole COVID thing. Mm-hmm. And one of the great things that happened with the whole COVID thing was people tended to care about other people.
That's right.
And we took an interest in somewhat in other people, but at the same point, we became very isolated in our own worlds. And one of the great things about Wheels for Warmth is from the start, it's been about people caring about people.
Yeah. And the environment here in Vermont.
Yeah, it's funny because I hear the governor talk about it. I hear other people talk about it, but it goes back to actively caring for people, and actively caring for our communities. And I think Wheels is one of those standout reasons.
Yeah,
we all live in Vermont and we all try to help each other. You know, you can be stuck in a snowbank in the middle of nowhere, and somebody stops for you.
That's right.
I mean,
that's right.
You don't see that other places, right?
No.
I was watching this lady fumbling with her keys out front here as you were still traversing the hills of Orange trying to get in here. Mm-hmm. And she dropped her keys and somebody stopped to pick up her keys for her. Imagine that shit.
It doesn't happen in Massachusetts.
Or even New Hampshire around us. They'd pick them up and run away with them.
Exactly. Oh my God.
But Wheels has been that great thing.
Yeah.
That people are actually working towards and helping each other. We're again contributing to those less fortunate.
That's right.
And we're actually I hate to use the word recycling, but we're removing this waste from our waste stream so it doesn't just clog up the landfills and whatnot.
I remember one year I wanted to get good dibs. Here's the thing.
You've been there before. I know you've been there before.
All of the tires are great. I mean, the earlier you get, it doesn't mean you're not going to get a great tire. But I was there at Dark 30, had so much entertainment, waiting in line with folks and everybody sharing stories and having fun for a couple of hours in the dark.
Yes.
Freezing my nads off.
Yes.
But once I went in, I got a set. I'll never forget this. I got a set of 4 almost brand new. I don't think they even went through a full season. Winter tires. They were Cooper Weathermasters for $80.
Yeah.
and I felt guilty.
Unbelievable, isn't it?
And I'm like, can we just round up to 100? Can people do that?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
All
Yeah.
right.
No, we're happy. As a matter of fact, they can give 80 to them and 20 to me.
Sure.
But I got to tell you,
because you need it.
I'm talking about this actively caring for people and whatnot. And I told you I hate Phil at this point, but he's been an excellent guy. He really has, and he is probably my longest and oldest friend.
Yeah. But you hate him.
But I hate him.
All right.
But that's okay. But we start to look at some of the volunteers. The Dick Mazza, he's up out of Colchester.
Yeah.
Kenny Goslant over in Northfield. Paul Bean. These guys have already called and said, "Hey, we doing hot dogs and hamburgers this year? We're gonna have coffee. Can you get us coffee?" And they are right there,
Yeah.
doing the same thing as us.
Yep.
They will lug your tires. They'll flip your burgers. They will do whatever has to be done. And this is that one time a year that we throw everything else away. I explained to some other communities that I think this is like almost a Vermont holiday.
Yeah. Yes.
It's Wheels for Warmth weekend.
Yes, it is.
In Vermont.
Stop everything.
It is, and it's funny.
You know, the people that are watching and listening down south, who are outside of Vermont, maybe even outside of New England, they're listening. They're seeing you and listening to us, and they're listening to what we do here in Vermont, and they're thinking, all of those Yankees up there have gone batshit crazy.
Oh, yeah. No, we have.
They're showing up at 3 o'clock in the morning for some fucking tires? What's going on up there?
Hold on. You just said fucking on the air.
I did.
Would you retract that?
Yeah. Freaking.
Okay.
Back there getting the freaking tires.
Okay. But it's an organized mayhem.
Yeah.
I mean, people are bringing tires in.
But tires, you cannot survive up here without these tires.
No, you can't.
And if you're moving up here from Connecticut, there's no such thing as all-season tires up here.
God.
No.
So you want to hear
There's
all-season
summer tires and there's winter tires.
You want to hear all-season tire story?
Yeah, please.
Do you know Bill Lyon? Bill Lyon over in Northfield. He used to be the highway foreman over
No.
in Northfield.
No.
So I was taking my kids to daycare one day 30, 40 years ago anyway, and I can't get up Turkey Hill in Northfield, and I'm pissed. And then the next day I still can't get up Turkey Hill, and I'm pissed. And so I stopped down at the highway garage, and I went into Bill, and I said, "You got to do something about Turkey Hill. We got to get that plowed or something, because I should be able to get up it." He says, "That's fine. Let's go out to your car." And
Jeez.
Bill walks out to my car, and he looks. He says, "You got all-season tires on there?" I said, "Yeah." He said, "Don't come back again till you got winter tires."
Yeah.
I learned my lesson. He was right. I was wrong.
Yes.
It was just what it was.
All-season tires are summer tires.
That's right. Yeah. So, but this is, this is huge around here and huge in what it does.
Yeah.
And how it does bring people together in some fashion. It also, when you mention standing in line 2 years ago or 3 years ago,
Yeah.
10 years ago, whatever it was, it's become a right that people come down and stand in line
Sure.
and do this. At the same point, we have a great deal of people that recently have purchased new vehicles.
Yeah.
And if they've purchased new vehicles, their tires that they had set aside for their vehicle for this year probably don't fit. And so instead of just letting them sit in your garage and
Yes.
just sit around, take 10 minutes,
Right.
throw them in the back of your car,
Yeah.
truck, whatever it is, and bring them on down Thursday and Friday.
Yep.
And we'll gladly take the donation. We'll
Yep.
give you a little thing saying you donated to us.
Sure.
So if you want to try to deduct it, God bless you. You'll get audited, but that's okay. It's only the IRS. They only got 800 new agents wondering what to do. But we'll give you a receipt for it. And then somebody will get use out of that set of tires.
Yeah.
And on top of it, Mrs. Wobby won't bitch about those tires being in her way every day.
This is true,
Okay.
which in itself alone is a whole nother thing.
It is.
That is. But yes, go into your garage or your barn and have a look and see what you have. Now, what if folks come
But
down
I just
there?
saw another message come in. There's somebody's talking to us.
Heather Slayton, clearly you have never needed something badly enough to do that at 3 a.m. in person.
No, but I've been there at 2 a.m. waiting for you at 3.
Yes. Yes.
Heather, thank you very much. And really all those folks, you see all kinds of folks at 3 and 4 o'clock in the morning.
Right.
And I'll also tell you if hardship hits,
Yeah.
and we've done this with several people, if you need to owe me some money, if you understand what I'm saying,
Yeah.
if you need to owe me some money, no one will leave there without a set of tires if they need a set of tires.
Damn.
And if I've got to come up and knock on your door for $20 because I gave away some tires, JD, I'm going to do it.
With a leather coat and a baseball bat?
It works.
Yeah.
But nobody has left any of our sites in need.
Yeah.
We make that's number one.
Yeah.
And the emergency heating fund is number 2. And then recycling is number 3. So
Now, is Phil going to be there?
not at liberty to say because of security reasons.
Okay, I understand.
Of course he's going to be there. You know what? So we were there Saturday, he and I, and there's a metal dumpster down there. And he says, again, run for cover, right? He says, I got an idea.
Oh, God.
He said, why don't we have somebody here cutting the tires off? Because sometimes they come in on rims.
Sure.
Cutting the tires off rims, and then we can throw the metal into the metal dumpster.
Yeah.
And the tires over here, and we can make some money on that metal dumpster because metal's high right now. And I
Right.
said, Phil, I'm going to be lucky to have enough volunteers. Oh, I'll come down and cut tires off rims. I'll do that.
Is that what he did?
And
Did he?
And I said, are you serious? He said, yeah, I'll come down Thursday and Friday and cut tires off rims. And I said, if you think that's a good idea and you have time to do that in your world, if you have time to do that, you go ahead and do that. But I just can't handle one more rat hole in this mess. So the answer to the story is, yes, the governor's going to be there. He's also going to be in Rutland. He's also going to be in Williston, and he's also going to be in Colchester. So is he going to be cutting tires off steel rims?
Yeah.
Probably not.
All right.
But he is going to be at those locations. I know he's going to be with us Friday night for a while.
Yeah.
And I know he's going to be with us Saturday morning.
Yeah.
For a little while, and then he's taken off for Rutland for the as well.
What happens with any tires that are left over at the end when this sale ends at noon on Saturday?
That's been a big bone of contention.
Okay.
Because we probably sell 75% of the usable tires, which means roughly every year there's probably 1,000 tires left on the ground that are usable but can't go anyplace. We do not have the ability to store or inventory those tires that are left over.
Okay.
And we have for years said Brock, CVOEO, and Capstone should figure out a way to inventory these things so that if you walk into Capstone, you can say, I'm looking for a 16-inch tire. Tires have gone, 17 years ago we could have pulled this out because there was 5 sizes of tires, and
right.
within those 5 sizes there was 3 different tires, right?
Mm-hmm.
Today there's 15 sizes of tires, and
Right.
within those 15 there's 30 different shapes,
Sure.
all these different ratings and everything else. So it's just not a viable piece.
Right.
I know we hang on to some from year to year.
Yeah.
We'll have one of those big cargo boxes,
Yeah.
and we'll hold on to some from year to year, and they'll come back out next year. But the other side of it is, regretfully, the lion's share of those end up going in the recycling bin.
Okay. We should also mention, Dick, that if it's winter tires that you're already good with, you're already set, but you're thinking about summer. You're thinking about.
Can I talk? Because you just mentioned something. Can I mention somebody?
Sure, please.
There's this lady, Kate Alberghetti. I don't know if you know her. She'd be somebody to have on your show here.
Okay.
She heads up Green Up for the state of Vermont.
Yep.
She is like the executive director of Green Up. And Kate and I have been working together. And part of the reason Kate and I have been working together is they, of course, do Green Up in May. And she's got a big open house. You really ought to call her. They're doing this big thing up at Harold's Funhouse up in Stowe on November 12th for Green Up. But I'm mentioning them because they're interested in some fashion in a fall event, i.e., this would be a great tie-in for Green Up. We have Wheels for Warmth in the fall and Green Up in the spring. Ultimately, we're both trying to do the same thing. So Kate has been very good and helped us out. And one of the pieces that you were trying to get me to, and I took you down a different road.
No.
One of the pieces you were trying to get me to was it's not just winter tires that are out there. There are all-season tires. There are some summer tires.
Yeah.
There's even some sports car tires.
Yeah.
I mean, the guys bringing stuff in off their ZR3 or whatever it is, H43, hot Datsun little thing, or some of these little rat burners that run around. Those performance tires. There's all kinds of tires. All kinds of tires.
So come and get your summers.
Yeah,
if you want.
could do that. Yeah. Yeah.
What's it like working with, and I've had both you and Sue Minter on Aired Out in the past at the same time.
Cliff wants to say something to me.
Cliff is saying that please reach out to him and Craig Premont over at Vermont Quick Lube. You know where that is. Vermont Quick Lube.
Right up the street.
Yeah, down this way.
Yeah.
Down past Harley. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because they'd like to help out. They'd like to get involved in some way.
So that's Cliff.
Cliff Fleury.
Cliff Fleury.
Yes.
Cliff, you'll see me in about 20 minutes.
All right. Vermont Quick Lube and Car Wash.
Okay.
Down past Wilkins.
Yeah.
All right. But what's it like working with Sue Minter over at Capstone? And I've had both of you on the air at the same time.
Yeah.
In the past.
Oh, I think so. Sue and I have been friends forever, and again, I hate her, but
because I wouldn't if there were a couple of people on the planet that I would match up together as friends. Not sure if it would be you and Sue Minter.
Yeah, but we seriously, Sue and I have been friends forever.
Isn't that amazing?
And it was kind of funny because
she's very, very straight-laced and well-spoken and
very
you're
organized.
You're like something out of the Barnum and Bailey circus.
Very organized. In Sue's world, it's all got to be lined up and ready to go.
Right.
And in my world, I just want to mess that line up.
Wobby's world.
I want to just go through this whole thing.
Right.
But Sue and I have been great friends, I say, forever. At least 15 years.
Amazing.
It was one of those fun times. If you remember, Sue ran for governor against Phil.
Yeah.
And Sue and I were able to talk through some differences that were occurring, some different things. And then tragically, she had the incident with the Harwood students.
Yeah.
And we talked through that. We pulled back some of the stuff we were doing in a campaign and gave them a couple days to catch their breath, regroup, and come back at it. So, no, Sue and I are, I will say, I I want to use the word respectful of each other, but
Yeah.
I think it's bigger than respectful. I
Yeah.
think I consider Sue a friend, and you mentioned Capstone. Capstone is doing some of the best work we've in the whole state.
Well, there's one thing to raise the money and do good for the environment, do good for people. They get tires, and we keep the tires out of the landfills, so on and so forth. But it's a whole nother thing to take those funds. You pass the baton, and then now they've got to do something great with the money raised.
Yeah, but it's even bigger than that. If you look at the Casey Ingalls, the Allison Calderera, the different folks that are actually working there
Yeah.
and helping the people get ahead, because Capstone isn't only concerned about the friggin' oil fund. I mean, that's just one little pathway in there. They're helping people get ahead in life, help develop careers over there. They're helping people pay their rent. They're helping people get food when they don't have food.
Yeah, look at the Community Kitchen Academy.
Yeah.
I mean, they're teaching people how to cook,
They're teaching people how to cook.
jump-starting careers.
I should probably go there. My wife says I can't cook worth crap.
How does your wife deal with you, Dick?
She hates me too.
Jeez,
I'm on
does she-
I'm on a lot of hate lists.
Does she take a pill every day to
Yeah,
be able to cope with
everybody
you?
asks this, and I got to tell you. So this is a surprising factoid. I've got to say I've been very blessed in the fact that my wife and I have been married for like 35 years.
Wow. God bless her.
And, yeah, and she is just she's a solid person, and she probably gives me that bounce person that I need to turn and say,
Sure.
we're going to try to do this. We're going to try to do that. She's a very intelligent person.
Yeah.
I don't know what happened or what what the skip in that intelligence was. But I mean, she's retired from the CFO position at Norwich University. She's got her master's degree in business.
Yeah.
She's got all these letters and shit behind her name.
Yeah.
And then there's
you. So
I can't say enough about my wife. I
You're
love her dearly.
you're the president, the CEO, the CFO of everything of Associated General Contractors of Vermont, and you have been for over 1,000 years now.
Well, no, actually, I've worked for AGC for 25 years, and this last March was my 25th year. I've been the executive director for the last 3 or 4.
Yeah.
You want to hear something funny?
Something funny from
No.
Dick WOBBY?
So our little organization here in Vermont, the Associated General Contractors, we represent like 200 contractors
Yeah.
or suppliers across the state. 2 years ago, I took over in the end of a year, and then we had COVID hit, so throw that one out. But then 2 years ago, we were recognized nationally out of 100 chapters as the #1 chapter in the country. Remember, there's only 4 of us. I mean, it's Deb Armstrong, Matt Musburger, Musgrave, and Marcia part-time. There's only 4 of us in this office, and we peaked. We became the #1 chapter in the country. In 2021, and I just got back from Washington, D.C. I was down there until they escorted me to the town line about 30 days ago, but they recognized us, what they call the Howard Mock Award, but it's the #1 chapter with engagement, government affairs, and retention.
Jeez.
And so we took #1 there. And we're shooting for recognition in 2022. We're shooting for recognition here 3 years in a row, hopefully, with our government affairs and our community development or community action world. So we're quite busy.
The umbrella that is over your head with AGC is so much bigger than we thought. It is massive.
Kind of what we do is all-encompassing.
Yes.
That umbrella, and again, anybody can do what I do. That umbrella and the ability to pivot quickly and be able to help some of the other organizations, some of the other things going on in our world, our communities, has been very satisfying. I am grateful, and I can't say thank you enough to our different communities and community partners. I'm not talking AGC. I'm talking people have been very good to me in life.
Yeah.
And again, it's a Vermont thing, and we probably don't say thank you enough. I probably don't say thank you enough, but it's an honor to be able to do some of the shit I do.
I'm sorry I didn't make it to your Burgers and Brews event over the summer.
It was bigger than yours.
Was it?
Hold on. Did you have a kegerator?
I didn't.
Okay, so if you ever want to use one of these live streams,
Eshelbach wouldn't let me bring it.
Yeah, well, let me just tell you something. When I was going to college, my life's dream was to own my own kegerator. Okay?
Oh my God.
So that was 40 years ago. 3 years ago, I finally figured I had made it far enough in life that I could buy one of those Coleman coolers with 2 taps on it. So we have a kegerator, we had a sound system. Of course, you got sound systems here, but we had it happening down at AGC that afternoon. Jeff Newton was cooking burgers out front.
Did anybody get arrested?
No.
Wow.
No.
Sounds like
we might have had a couple public safety people there too. Okay? Because we bring them all in. It's just one of those big open heart things.
Well, I hope to do something with you guys again.
So who is Sweetwater?
Sweetwater is a company where you just gave them a plug, Dick.
Oh.
Now they owe
$5.
Now they owe me some money. That's the company that we get all of our equipment from.
Oh.
Much of it.
Yeah.
So
I asked that because I brought back college, and I spent a day or two on a high seat inside this little place called Sweetwater's up in Burlington.
Oh, different. Yes. Different.
I was going to say, my God.
17 years that the Wheels for Warmth tire sale has been going on. Kudos to Wayne Lamberton, to Phil Scott, to Dick WOBBY, and and Casella, and a massive number of volunteers that devote their time, their energy, their passion behind this event here in Vermont, which has turned into its own thing.
Its own weekend holiday.
It really is. $620,000 going to the emergency heating fund in the past. That doesn't include this year.
We will max out this year. We'll max out at over $650, just to give you an idea. I'm guessing it's going to be somewhere in the neighborhood of $660,000 this year. Max out. We'll max out at about 28 to 30. We'll add another 3,000 to 4,000 tires for use.
Yeah,
and we'll add probably another 4,000 tires for recycling in this whole deal.
Jeez.
Yeah, no, it is amazing, and you give a call out to us. It's not us. It's not us. By any chance, we give people the opportunity to do this. It's each and every one of your listeners, each and every one of the people in this community that take the time to go out to their garage, pick up their tires,
that's it,
and drive them down.
Right there.
Because we could stand around all weekend with our finger up our butts.
Yes.
and just stand there.
No, you got it. Spot on. That's exactly it right there.
And this young lady, I'm saying young, I don't recall her name, but she's saying, if 3 o'clock in the morning is not that early if you need the tires.
Sure.
Right?
Right.
And we all have tires in our garage. Every one of us has tires in our garage.
Sure.
Whether they're good or bad.
Yeah.
They're tires in our garage. It'll cost you $5 to get rid of them if they're bad.
Yeah.
If they're good, we'll take them for free.
Yep.
And somebody like her or somebody else out there will have a set of tires to get through the winter. And I don't care if they come down at 3 o'clock. I'll be there at 3 o'clock.
So $20 to get the tires that are not deemed safe by VTrans. $20 to get rid of 4 tires. Think of the space that you're going to free up in your garage for the winter.
Think what else you can put in
Is
there.
that not worth $20?
Oh, let me tell you what. I would give somebody $100 to come clean my garage out and get rid of that stuff, so I can buy some more stuff and put it there.
Well, yeah, I was going to say. Now you have room for that shit that your wife got at the yard sale over the summer. I mean, come on.
We got 2 chairs Mrs. WOBBY bought. We got 2 chairs sitting in our garage that she has decided we're going to refinish.
Yeah.
We just aren't sure when.
Okay.
Okay?
I got it.
Okay, we're going to refinish those.
Oh, yeah.
Okay?
Sure.
Because they'll look nice refinished.
Yeah.
Right? But we aren't sure when we're going to do that.
Kind of like Sherilyn. Every year I trim off the bottom of the Christmas tree. Oh, save all the trimmings. I'm going to make a wreath. And then in June, I take all of the brown, dead Christmas tree trimmings out of the garage, and I burn them and drink beer.
Yes. So you mentioned bringing out the brown limbs and whatnot in July.
Sure.
I don't want you to hang on to those tires through July.
Please don't.
I want you to go out this week, 5 minutes, take a look around your garage, and see if we have some tires that could come into wheels. Because without you, this wouldn't work. I can have all the volunteers, all the people, CVOEO, Brock, Capstone, everybody standing there waiting. But if we don't have tires, it doesn't work. So I really do. It's Thursday afternoon, Friday afternoon, 2 to 6. Saturday, we're selling from 8 till noon. There'll be Kenny Go Slant. We could have a laugh about Kenny, but Kenny...
Tell Ken we were disappointed that he's not here and that you have more fun on my show than he does because he's only been on once.
Yeah, I have more fun than a lot of people have. But
yes, you do.
along those lines, that he is manning a crew to put together our food down here in Montpelier. And if you could give him a little love there at the voting booth, we'd appreciate that. He's a good guy.
Where's all the food coming from?
Dick Mazza, Wayne Lamberton, and a few others donate the food coming in.
My God.
And the coffee and the donuts and the whole thing.
Wow.
So that first year, there was just a pot for us. That didn't work for more than half an hour, and we realized we needed to have some food and donuts and the whole thing. So, but this is a great program you do. I'm going to tell you, I commend you. What a great program, and you should really be pleased with the ability, William Rivas and Central Vermont Home Health and all those folks out there helping support and give us this opportunity.
You're right. Thank you.
To talk to everybody. I was listening to somebody the other day, one of these political types, that was talking about how they had started a newspaper. They started a newspaper.
Yeah.
And part of the reason they started the newspaper was because the older folks hadn't gotten to the point of the technology thing to understand that they could get their news there. And, and I took offense to that.
Yeah.
Because I enjoy newspapers.
Yeah.
But I also enjoy these blogs, these streaming things, this whole thing, because I think you get to know people and you get to understand where people are coming from.
Absolutely.
So when you look at the companies you have out there, the quality ground maintenance up there at Gothiers and Wright Electric and AB
Salvador and Babbitt,
Vermont Quick Lube,
Chamber of Commerce,
Washington County
Green Mountain Auto Spa, Chamber of
Washington
Commerce,
County Mental Health. Where's Washington County Mental Health? I might stop there too on my way up to Quick Lube.
They're everywhere. They're and Barslow Construction. You know those guys.
Barslow.
Yeah, Preston's Kia. Yeah,
but people see the unique opportunity as well as a very divergent market that they can get to, and you don't have to listen to this show at 9 o'clock on Monday.
Yeah, you can listen whenever you want.
You can listen to it whenever you want. You just go out there airedout.com
Well, on Facebook.
on Facebook.
Yeah, aired out. Yeah.
Aired
Yeah,
out
piece
there
of cake. Or on YouTube.
on YouTube.
Yeah.
I can go out there and I can download this, or I can just watch it, or I can
And
do
you
whatever I want.
And you can listen to it on Spotify, iHeartRadio, Amazon Music, TuneIn Radio, Podchaser, Deezer, Podcast Addict, and GeoSavan.
I removed Spotify from my phone
Why, Dick?
because they were sending me all kinds of ads and shit, and I couldn't get past them to listen to what I wanted to listen. It was just terrible.
You got to buy the subscriptions
But-
for ad free, bud.
But I'm not.
$10 a month.
Yeah.
Can you swing it?
No. But I had to get rid of them. But again, I don't understand how to operate my phone
Yeah.
at all, and that's a whole nother conversation at some point.
Yes.
That we could have. But the important thing is that we remember each other.
Yeah.
I got one last plug I want to give, and it's not on your list. It's not
I don't
in
care.
my head. If you find you got an extra $5 or an extra $10,
Yeah.
give the Humane Society a call. Buy them. This is cool. Why don't we do this?
Oh, God.
If you got an extra $5 or $10 and you're listening to me, go buy a bag of dog food or cat food and drop it off to the Central Vermont Humane Society. I'm serious. They do another one of those outstanding job. Everything Capstone does for people
Yep.
and takes care of people, this group up there does for our pets and probably our best friends. And the only thing they don't do is teach them a career.
Dick, I noticed while we're closing out here this morning, I noticed that
You've been trying to shut me down for a while, so go ahead.
I've just noticed that your cup almost looks as.
No, it is funny because I don't change it.
Can we see the inside of that a little bit? Here, let me put the camera on you.
There you go. Okay?
God.
Is that what you want?
Damn.
There you go.
That's
Okay?
bad shit right there.
No, it is.
Wow.
It doesn't get changed, though.
Yeah.
As a matter of fact,
It's seasoned.
I think it's seasoned.
Yeah.
I think it actually tastes better.
Yeah.
With all that crap in there.
I
And
agree with you.
The funny part about it is I don't change it from mixtures. So there could be in any given day, this thing could go from Jenna's Promise coffee,
Yeah.
okay, to Cokes or Sprites,
Yeah. To
to
water.
as now,
Yeah.
or to some other clear liquid with ice.
Like
and-
tequila.
And then set at the end of the day, set there on the cabinet.
Yeah.
And then pick it up in the morning, throw it in the sink.
Yeah.
Grab another cup of water, pour it into the coffee maker so I
Yes.
have fresh ground coffee,
Yeah.
and start all over again.
And maybe a little bit of Jim
No,
Beam in there.
Never.
No Jim Beam in there?
No, you know what? I make light of this drinking all day thing, and I want you to know that's I make light because anybody that has a problem with alcohol or any other substance abuse, we should not make light of, and I apologize for that. But I try not. I don't try. I really don't drink much.
Yeah. You don't need to with a personality like Dick Robbie.
But I think we got to be cognizant that there is a very large usage rate,
Yeah.
impairment rate out there, and we should worry about each other a little bit about that. So I apologize.
I don't think you need to. Everybody knows you. Dick Wobby. Thanks for coming in, buddy.
Hey, it's been a pleasure. I look forward to seeing you.
Yeah.
Thursday, 2 to 6. Friday, 2 to 6. And Saturday, 8 to 10, selling all those tires.
8 to 10?
8 to noon.
Yeah.
Oh, you know what I'll do just for you?
What's that?
If they come in at 10 o'clock,
Okay.
between 10 and noon, anybody that comes in between 10 and noon and says, air it out, we got to air it out. If they come in and say that, we'll give them 50% off on tires between 10 and noon.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Holy shit. Dude, that's awesome.
Is that cool?
That's really cool.
We'll see how many people really listen to this shit, okay?
Oh, boy.
Then I'm going to go talk to Peak Entertainment and Sunrise Gymnastics and the Great Vermont Corn Maze and CW Creative and say, how much are you paying for that? Nobody's listening.
Dick, last question, bud. Last question. When are you going to... We're off the air. Nobody can hear us anymore.
No, you can leave me live.
Are you going to run for governor at some point?
You know, I've always thought that would be a fun thing. And then I've watched the governor ride around and have to be driven from here to there and have to stay on this tight schedule and have to do this and have to do that. That just doesn't appeal to me. Imagine me on a tight schedule. This is the first time this week I was actually on time someplace, and you were late.